Heidi ho, and what do you know,
What's
motherfucking
poppin',
welcome
fam?
back to the All Funk No Bunk podcast, guys. Great to have you back for another week. Me and Nick here again. No, we haven't been back in a while. COVID keeps us on our toes all the time right now.
Busy boys,
Busy,
dude.
busy, busy,
all
busy,
all day, dude.
But happy to be
baby.
back. Excited for another episode today. Gonna start off by, of course, giving a big shout out to our sponsors. Gotta love them. We'll start with the Happiest Hour.
Oh,
Amazing company doing really cool stuff right now. We are currently with the Mango Cannabis Companion Shot, which
no, this sucker you're gonna have a harder time finding, I think.
I was gonna say they
because
updated
they changed
this
it.
one.
Yeah, it doesn't
bit.
look like this.
Yeah.
It's I think almost the same.
The Intensify. I
Yeah,
believe.
it's almost the exact same thing. I think, like almost.
Yeah.
Maybe they changed the recipe a little bit, but I think it's a at least very similar.
Yeah.
I think it's the same.
And the main point of it is it's a shot that tastes like mango, and their mango is
and it's
so
really good. I'm not gonna lie, y'all.
So good.
Personally, I'm not a huge mango fan. Like, I'm just not.
Right.
Like, if you hand me a piece, I'll eat it. Like,
Okay.
if you think I'm gonna go buy mango as a snack, I'm just not gonna. You know what I mean? It's just not my favorite fruit. Like, there's 3 other fruits I'd rather eat.
Right.
Or is mango a fruit? Or like a
Yeah.
melon?
Anyways, don't do that. Yeah.
But anyways, it's one of my, it's top 10, definitely not top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And, but these are fucking good.
So good.
These are really good.
So fucking good.
Really good. So we have a private stash of old ones.
Yeah. We need
That
our own stash. That's how good these things are. But they also have some new stuff coming out too. They have a Calm Shot coming out.
Oh my gosh, the sleep and the calm.
Yeah, and the Sleep we tried recently.
Fucking
so
awesome.
good.
It's so great. Daddy Alley.
I've been a huge fan of like all the sleep stuff coming out lately, and that's another one that add to the list if you want to drink something that puts you to bed at night. For me, that was the best.
Especially if you pair it with some fucking good weed, dude.
Yeah,
You smoke a good
my
indica and down
gosh.
that shot. Watch out.
Chilling. And I'm so excited to try out that Calm. I think that's going to be a game changer too, for sure. Like,
Oh, it's awesome.
it's going to be
awesome.
super, super good. So some cool stuff to look out for there. And then, of course, we've got Cannovative, who will be...
Cannovative, dude.
yes, and they're...
Big dogs.
Not just
Fucking
sponsoring the
love 'em.
podcast, but they will also be helping us sponsor our Fuck the YouTube Algorithm session that we'll be having here in a
Yes.
little bit.
Because YouTube hates watching people consume their cannabis for some
fucking
reason.
camera.
So
Fuck.
we're gonna take a smoke break here in a second, down some shots, smoke a little bit. We'll give y'all a second to spark up if you want to join us.
Yep.
And we're gonna get lit. Come right back.
Yeah, and this will be the Deadhead OG Motivator from Cannovative.
Dude, I just want to, before we jump into the break.
Yeah.
Let me just
No, yeah, I
read
wanted to
some
talk
of the
about this.
insane fucking numbers on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
yo. So let's just start out with, and as we all know, people in us too, and most people in the industry know that THC isn't everything.
No,
so I'm not
it's
going to
not.
say it's everything.
No.
But let's just start. We'll start with THC and we'll build into the terpenes. We're looking at 70.44% THC.
1 gram joint.
That is higher than concentrates that I've seen.
That's
I've seen
true.
like 68% concentrates
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
It
no.
usually doesn't go much below 70, but
even still, like
I've
that's
seen a concentrate
yeah.
with less THC in it than this joint.
100%.
That's fucking
100%.
insane.
And that's an interesting point to bring up with this too, and fun to talk about, because THC isn't everything, but when you have that kind of a level of THC in something, it's a very different experience than like when you're talking about the difference between 26% and 30%. Like,
Right.
70% is
Huge.
exponential. Like you said, if you're
Huge.
dabbing flour almost
Yeah,
at that
it's
point.
insane.
Like, yeah. And what they do with their grow is fucking crazy. They've been doing, this since the very beginning. Like, Cannovative's one of the oldest people out here doing it, and I think one of the most trusted.
Oh, and as far as like pre-rolls go, like joints
my God.
and infused joints,
Especially
they kill
the
it.
infused.
They absolutely
My
kill it.
God.
There isn't really much out there, in my opinion, that even compares.
Right.
As far as infused joints go, I mean, these burn, smoke,
Yeah.
and taste better than
Amazing.
almost any other thing I've ever had. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, it's way different experience. And then also, I just wanted to throw in there, I'm just going to rapid fire some of these cannabinoids off because I
Run 'em.
love that there's cannabinoids
Right,
in here
right.
besides just THC.
Right.
So I got the THCA, of course, is 698 milligrams, which is fucking insane. THC Delta 9, 91 milligrams.
Damn.
Fucking insane. CBDA, 1 milligram. CBN, 3 milligrams.
Oh, wow, nice,
Right.
yeah.
CBGA, 7 milligrams.
Oh,
CBG, 2 milligrams. And CBC, 2 milligrams.
That's
What the fuck? That is
See,
everything.
that
It has
is.
it all.
That is.
Talk about an entourage effect. God damn.
Absolutely.
And then we got 10 milligrams carafilene, 3 myrcene, 2 humulene, and 3 bisabolol.
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck?
I-
That is numbers off the chart.
Absolutely.
Y'all are killing it. This
No.
Deadhead motivator is insane.
They are
Absolutely insane.
some of the cleanest stuff that I've ever smoked, some of the top shelf, and they are so medically motivated and they have such great products. I'm going to bring up their Resonate cartridges real quick because they are 800 milligram cartridges, because in the state of Nevada you cannot get a full gram cartridge made that is over 80% THC. Not legally will they allow you to do that. So they make 800 milligram cartridges because they always test over 80% on that also. So, and they're great too, and like similar profiles in terms of being across the board with that like higher somewhat percentage for a vape cartridge. Super, super good.
Yeah,
so
and
we'll
I don't
be
even,
consuming them.
and I'm not even a big vape person if I'm being totally honest. I'm not huge into vapes, but those Resonates are fire.
They're so good.
They're like, honestly.
so
And I'm the
good.
type of person that won't normally smoke carts
Yeah.
unless I like have to.
That's fair.
But if I have to, I'd rather it be one of those.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
yeah, and then yeah, you can't beat
they're
those.
super fire.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna go
Fucking spark
to our
up.
little fuck the algorithm session, and we'll be back in just a minute. See you in a little bit hazier situation.
All right, we are back.
Welcome us back. I might be.
Hope
high.
y'all, did the do like we
Yeah,
did.
hope you took the time to join us on our journey
Yeah.
to fucking off the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah. Fuck Jesus Christ. So we'll probably quit consuming a ton on the channel, just so y'all know.
Yeah.
Just so that way, like we might still do it every once in a while, but I don't want to red flag our channel and get us shut down because we're consuming cannabis on the channel. So,
But we are still gonna be doing
but
the weed.
we'll definitely be lit. We're just gonna take smoke breaks instead of doing it on camera. So, and it'll give you guys an opportunity to kind of smoke with us.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
So,
Same.
and it brings more. I like how much like attention it brings to it. It deserves that to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Instead of it just being a background thing. Like, oh, they happened to be smoking while they were talking about something else. I want it to be like no, take your time with us and smoke now.
Get high,
I mean, yeah.
get right.
So, I mean, yeah, I like that it
Let's
puts that much.
roll into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it.
I feel it. So we'll be talking a little bit about like just some legalization stuff today. There's some.
There's a lot of shit going on. I need my phone. I sat it down. I
did
put all
the
my
same
articles
thing.
on my
Damn,
phone.
you know we high. God
I know.
damn.
Because we both were like looking up shit and then sat our phones down across the fucking room.
on opposite ends of the room too.
For real.
Holy shit.
But yeah, so I was looking up some articles and shit. I'm actually really impressed with the way cannabis is going as far as like legally speaking. There's a lot of things about cannabis right now, the industry, that I'm not a fan of. But I gotta tell you that, but that, we should have known that was coming. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the way things are going, at least in this side of the world. Because
Yeah.
I don't even want to just say America,
well,
because even I Googled cannabis news this morning,
Okay.
and I'm not shitting you, like 3 or 4 of like the 12 articles that come right up on Google are about Mexico.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I noticed
And then
that
with
too.
Canada, the way they did that last year, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so I
yeah.
feel like this side of the world even, not just
Absolutely.
America, this
Right,
side of
right.
the world has been just killing it on
Mm-hmm.
the cannabis lately. The very first one that pops up when you Google, at least this morning when I Googled it, and it's from 7 hours ago,
I think it's the same
is
one for me.
Mexico moves closer to becoming the world's largest legal cannabis market.
Right.
That's fucking insane to me.
Yeah, that'll be crazy. And I
That is
wonder,
nuts.
I just wonder what the weed's like, because weed's so different everywhere you go, to be totally honest.
So I don't want to sound like I don't
think
know.
it's
I don't know what
mostly
you. I
sun-grown?
don't even know what you call. I don't want to assume, right?
Right, and it's probably mostly sun-grown.
But that's what I was gonna say. I bet a lot of it's sativa,
That's fair.
and I bet a lot of
That's
it's
definitely fair.
sun grown. Honestly, outdoor.
I wonder what
But
it's like.
I
in
also
comparison.
wonder if becoming the world's largest market will almost force them to get into other things. You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like
what do you
indoor and indicas.
okay.
And, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying? I bet like
absolutely.
right now, if you went down to Mexico right now and bought weed, like on the street somewhere, or I don't know if they have shops yet, because I know it's legal there some places, but if you go bought some cannabis right now, like today, on the street somewhere in Mexico or something,
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet a lot of it's sativa, I'm willing to bet a lot of it's outdoor, I'm willing to bet a lot of it's, you know what I'm saying? But I wonder if becoming one of the world's largest cannabis markets will push them into a position where they don't have a choice but to start like branching out, making a bunch of concentrates and making a bunch of edibles and making sure there's always an even amount of indicas to sativas, and you know what I'm saying? Like I wonder if I feel like it'll almost force them to.
It'll depend, because and it'll probably depend on whether or not they're ever able to export it. Because if they're not,
well, that's what I was just gonna say. Exporting changes the game.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot.
A lot. But like, even then, well, because if we legalize,
Yeah, but do you think we'll ever get to the point where we're importing or exporting? Because that to me is a totally different ballgame.
probably not. Probably not. Like
'Cause
we're fighting to just get it across states, I guess.
Because I think the whole point of all of this is,
No.
like when it's all said and done, like this whole conversation we're having about all the states and all the countries that are legalizing and stuff. I think the real point of the conversation is like when and how is America, you know what I'm saying, gonna legalize it federally? And when is a huge thing, obviously, and how is an even huger thing that people don't realize. Because people think that when you say legalizing cannabis, that's just a straightforward, like, oh, now it's legal. Yeah. They think that it's that easy. It is not necessarily that easy, because they can make crazy rules about it if they want.
Yeah.
What if they say, okay, fine, we're going to make weed federally legal, but it can only be distributed across state lines if it's owned by a corporation like Big Pharma or something. You know what I'm saying? What if there's some, and I'm sure I didn't word that even close to the way it would need to be worded to make that a thing.
To make it legally like binding in a way that like you can't deviate.
But I wonder if like, because that's possible. They could do some sketchy shit like
no, absolutely. And I think that's one of people's, like, there's a lot of people in the cannabis industry, and it took me a long time to understand this myself, that are against legalization right now because they don't think it does enough. It doesn't. It's not good enough. It's not that they're like against cannabis necessarily, but it could be doing a better job at legalizing it.
Yeah, or they could come out with some shit that could really harm the industry. Like I said, that could really harm the industry as a whole.
And just to get some context, like what's some of the like dumbest shit we have to deal with at a dispensary? Like I'm trying to think of like some of our wildest bullshit.
Okay, so this is gonna get me into some trouble because I'm a huge, and people are not gonna agree with me here. Okay. I usually don't even talk about it because people are not gonna agree with me, but I kind of don't give a fuck. So I'm really against preventative laws, like really against it. I think it's the dumbest thing ever.
Okay.
Like I think, for example, open container in your car, drinking. That's a preventative law. It's not that having an open container inside of your car of alcohol is gonna mean that you're gonna crash your car. What they're trying to do is stop you from drunk driving.
Right.
So drunk driving should be illegal, but why is an open container illegal? I could very easily wake up, get in my car, I don't know why I would, but I could get in my car, drink a beer on my way to Tahoe for the day, and be perfectly sober. Perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like 1,000%. Be it like the legal limit's 0.8, I could be at 0.3. I could be under half the limit.
Would it be fair to say that like...
But they're trying to prevent people from getting drunk while driving.
Right.
So they're just making it illegal to even have an open container.
So it's more like you should have to give me I don't necessarily agree with how all sobriety tests work, but at least like the...
Exactly. I should have to have a sort of sobriety test.
Right.
Because I didn't, like I said, I don't think I actually did anything wrong if I sipped on half a beer going down the road.
I actually do agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But preventative laws go all around a lot of things besides just open container. You know what I'm saying? That's just a good example that helps push my agenda.
Right.
There's a lot of arguments you could make on how, this preventative law really helps people or whatever, I'm sure. But I'm also a big believer in like freedom over safety and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So
that's fair.
Not everyone agrees with shit.
I don't know.
Like
I would have to think about that a little bit more.
I would never call myself like an anti-masker, and I agree with every company that says that you have to wear a mask when you come in my thing. I do.
Absolutely.
But I also think that if I'm in a public space, totally public space, and I'm not intentionally harming anyone, that I shouldn't have to if I don't want to. You can. It's totally up to you if you want to wear a mask. That's all, and I applaud you. And if a business says I have to wear one, I'll comply every day. It does not bother me in the slightest. You're a private business, you make that rule, you want me to wear it, I'm gonna wear it. I'm not gonna argue with anyone, I'm not gonna cause a fit. That's why I said I don't identify as anti-masker at all. But I also think that if I'm walking down the sidewalk and I walk past people and they all wanna wear their masks, it's fine. I don't think I should have to. And I'm gonna, because like I said, there's a mandate and that's the rules and I'm gonna follow the rules. I'm not against anyone making, but I think that I'm not gonna break the law, I'm not gonna fuck around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they ask me to do it, I'll do it. I'm just saying that I wish they wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying?
In any other time, this is a hard one for me.
That's what I'm saying. Not everyone's gonna agree. That's why I say don't really bring it up. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people aren't gonna agree with me.
For sure. But
that's
like
just,
I get where you're coming from on that.
That's like the same thing, in my opinion, as like gun control in a way. You know what I mean? If I want to carry around a gun, I'm gonna do it. It doesn't mean I'm gonna shoot you up. You know what I'm saying? If I want to not wear a mask, it doesn't mean I'm gonna cough on you or even get within your personal space. I still stay 6 feet away. I'm still gonna not breathe on you. I'm still gonna do everything in my power to not, like, be like coughing in your face. You know what I mean? I'm not a dick, but I just don't think that I should have to wear one if I don't want to. As long as I'm not breaking any of those other rules. I'm not getting inside your personal bubble. I'm not
I think in any other time that's totally fair, but my counter to that is just like, if we're in the middle of a pandemic at that point in time, like you are in some way, shape, and form infringing upon just being around other people in a public space. Like one thing, totally fair, like hiking outside or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
No
but
one's
I'm
gonna be around, but like walking down the side.
But
like,
I also know
I mean?
that most people aren't reasonable, and I am. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
if I walk into an area
right.
and I see a bunch of people around, I'm probably gonna pop my mask on because I don't want to be a fucking dick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most people aren't like that though. That's why they make preventative laws to stop those assholes. I get it.
Right.
I just don't like that because, in my opinion, if you're gonna break the rules, you should just be in trouble. We shouldn't try to prevent you from breaking the rules. You know what I'm saying? We're like making a rule to try to prevent you from breaking a rule.
Yeah, I do, and I definitely get what you're saying.
I just feel like that's dumb.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Now, if I don't wear a mask and I walk into your 6 feet and cough on you, now I should go to jail.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? So like I also said, most people are not reasonable like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like I realize that doesn't work in every situation.
That's fair.
So I try. That's why I don't throw a fit. I don't talk about it usually ever, or even bring it up because there's no point.
Yeah.
It's not going to change anything, and most people don't.
That.
And I realize that it doesn't work for most people, but it just bugs me that I have to follow that rule.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even
instead of just being in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
If I did something wrong.
Right. Fair. I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying.
And they're just trying to prevent people from getting hurt. I get it, but I think but like I said, I'm freedom over safety.
Right.
That's just the way I want to live my life. If I'm scared that someone's going to harm me, I'm going to carry a gun and I'm going to wear my mask.
Right.
If I'm not scared, I should not have to.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying. No, I totally get where you're coming from on that. 100%. I was just trying to remember where we
segued into that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about preventative laws, and we were talking about cannabis, and we were talking about how they could set up a bunch of stupid laws, like they could make it harder for us, they could harm the industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff.
So
but my point around all of that was just that federal legalization could make a ton of shitty preventative laws.
For sure.
And your question was, what are some of the things that we have to deal with in the industry that you don't agree with? And that's why I said people aren't going to agree with some of the things I have to say. Because I don't like the oversale law. I think that's a preventative law. They're trying to prevent you from reselling to people that can't get it. That's what they're trying to prevent you to doing. Right? And I get that. But I don't think that I should be told I'm not allowed to buy, 7 ounces when I know I'm just going to come home and store it. It was a good deal. I'm not selling it to a bunch of people.
Right.
But I'm not allowed to do that because they're trying to prevent other assholes from breaking the rules. Mm-hmm. When in reality, I think that it should just be, if you break the rule, you get caught reselling it, you go to jail. And I think the way it should work is we should get rid of all this is my perfect solution, right? Okay. You get rid of all laws that are considered a preventative law, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You get rid of all of those, and then you make real crimes, the crimes that I think are actual crimes, in my opinion, harsher penalties.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you get caught reselling that cannabis, now you go to prison for 10 years. So don't get fucking caught doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But don't stop me from buying it because that asshole might resell it. Just catch him and put him in prison for the rest of his life. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to break the laws. And why should you give a fuck about him?
Right.
He knew what the penalty was and did it anyways. Don't feel, oh, I feel bad. You're going to go to prison. All I did was sell a little weed. I don't give a fuck. You knew you weren't supposed to do it. Don't do it. And if you wanted to do it, you should have been better at not getting caught. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? But that's just me being a dick. So there's a couple of things that I think are really dumb that we have to do every day.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, and the amount of,
Checking
like,
of 90-year-old's
signatures.
fucking ID.
Right.
Get out of here. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
I know you're just trying to track who it went to, but I'm still going to check them into the system. You're still going to know who it was. There's their
Right.
name and phone number. Still going to be attached to the receipt
If
and to the
anything
transaction.
needs to know anything.
I shouldn't have to take a 90-year-old's fucking ID. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just...
No, there's so many things, and it's always changing. They always want more. There's never, like, help with operations. They always are adding more to us. It's never,
oh, let me, you know what, we're going to pull back on that.
or even, like, give you a better way. Like,
Right.
if you want these things done, they are very barbaric in the systems that they, you know, use with us or ask us to use. And there's got to be better solutions.
Do you
for
think,
things.
and I think the shittiest part is do you think federal legalization is going to make that better or worse? Because I think it'll make it worse.
I don't know. Yeah,
But it could make it better, because the way I see it is what if, and I know this is probably less likely than other options, but what if the federal government took the stance of, we're just going to decriminalize it federally and let the states make whatever rules they want on it.
Right.
So if you live in a state where they made some lax-ass rules, that could technically be a benefit.
That might be like
You know what
the
I mean?
most likely thing that ends up happening.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know either, because
I mean, to be fair, the states already kind of have that right. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Essentially,
Otherwise, we
but there's a
wouldn't be
big
doing it already.
difference because, like, if the federal government at least stops, like, what's one of the biggest problems in the industry? Banking.
Not being able to take it across state lines.
And
Those are
those
the two
100%
biggest issues.
hands down, the two biggest issues. So, federal government stops saying that they're gonna, you know, consider it really a crime. Then some of those things at least become conversations.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. That's such a hard thing because it could be great, you know. We could have a really decent bill. I don't think it's going to be perfect. 110%.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna suck
say
no
it
matter
now.
what, yeah.
There's going to be issues.
The government has their
There
hand
will
in it. It's going to
always-
suck.
always
There's no getting
be
around
issues.
that. But how bad? What's the level of suckiness that we're going to be
Right.
taking, though?
And what freedoms are this little guy's going to have, you know, and opportunities to come into the market. There's a lot of weird things there. I think that's one of my biggest concerns is they try to keep people from opening small businesses with cannabis and things like that, and doing small grows and
If
those
we can
types of
get
things.
the ability to bank and
yeah.
travel
Oh, man.
and travel across state lines, it's gonna
Banking's
really
huge.
really change the game.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like
Yeah.
a ton.
100%. I mean, it just changes the entire market because
Well, now you're gonna have Walmarts of weed. Like
100%.
literally, they're gonna someone's gonna be Starbucks and they're gonna pop up on every fucking street in America.
right.
Every town will have two of them. You know
And
what I'm
there's
saying?
because there's places that have too much weed and there's places that don't have enough weed, and there's, you know, like the variance from state to state alone
is fucking insane.
Oh,
the difference
my
between us and
God.
Oregon is like
night and day.
it's so completely and totally different.
I'm so like I totally and I understand when people come down and they're upset, but like I just don't know. They get I totally understand that. So when you get mad, I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't know what you want me to tell you, man.
Yeah, it's the entire state's like cannabis economy. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's not our store. Our store didn't just up and boost the prices 400%.
And
it's
Oregon
every
just
goddamn
weed. Oregon
will become the supplier of the country if
Oregon
they
will
allow
become
taking it
known
out of
for cannabis.
Yeah, if they let us travel across state lines with it, they're going to be the biggest state-to-state exporter of fucking...
Yeah. Probably Oregon and California, but it'll be two very different
styles of
styles
weed,
and brands. Yeah, 100%.
Because those are different markets too, as well. California's its own place, so that's going to be its own market.
That's a whole nother kind of top. But it just goes to show how different everything is, and it's also isolated right now. You have some brands that are in different states, but are very different still. You know, like it may be the same brand, but they're totally different products.
Because it has to be grown in a different state with
Right.
different people and different. Maybe they have different policies or procedures at that place.
Yeah,
or
man.
maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't buy the same brand of lights.
Master
or,
growers aren't given enough credit for the art and the craft
Right.
that they do. Like they are so in tune with these genetics and these plants, and they work with them for
years,
many crops. It takes
They'll grow the same strain for 10 years.
right, and just to know exactly what it needs to get these kind of amazing buds. That
Especially with like phenotypes. Even if you know exactly what a strain needs, it doesn't mean it's going to be exactly the same as another phenotype of the same strain.
And you change one little thing,
Yeah.
you know. So like, there's just there's so much moving parts to it that a lot of people don't
It's fucking
understand.
insane.
And I really think that these kind of conversations will be really important coming up. And I don't know, it gives you a lot to think about even more. Because now I'm thinking of more things than I was before. And it's just like, there is a lot of weird little places where they can put things to... I mean, even like we mentioned at the beginning with Cannovative, they have the 800 milligram cart because a 1 gram cartridge can't be over 82%.
But in California, you almost
Their
can't buy.
caps for things are
You almost can't even buy a
strange.
less than a gram cart. I don't
Right.
even think they make half grams in California.
Washington at one point tried to like put that concentrates couldn't be above like 25% or something like that, and it was this huge thing for like 6 months or something up there.
That's insane.
It ended up getting like, you know,
Remember the whole
overturned and, like,
California
stuff.
thing? The whole how much, because they moved to the new testing or whatever, and how much cannabis had to be wasted and shit because of fucking... It's insane. They were like, so we're going to give you new testing standards.
Right.
You have 6 months to sell out of everything you got, because that new shit in 6 months better have this testing standard.
And then destroy it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
If
probably...
you didn't sell it, get rid of
That's
it.
probably one of my... That would be like one of my biggest current gripes. Like, I really wish that
All they
old
did was-
stuff could be donated.
Oh my God, I know.
I really wish there was
It's that way in every industry.
I know.
Though.
I know.
It's that way in every industry.
And especially
You go to
right now
you go
with
to
the pandemic,
Starbucks,
I get it.
you know what I mean? What do you think they do with all that food at the end of the night? People don't get to take that shit home, they throw that shit out.
Rough.
You know what I'm saying?
Rough.
Like
Like
when
food,
Avery
I
worked
get
at
it.
when
Like, it
Avery worked at
expires, but,
Starbucks,
like...
weed can kind of expire. Kind of. In a way.
Yes, you're not wrong, but...
You know what I mean?
but
You're
it
right, it
just seems
still
like-
technically works after the expiration date.
I was
but-
gonna say, like, well, or at least they should be longer. I feel like it's like, I mean, CBN flour donated to somewhere where veterans can get free fucking, you know, aged flour that will help them sleep and stay asleep at night because the CBN
Yeah, for
converts
sure.
over long periods of time. Like, I don't know. Again, I know there's like a lot that goes into the things that I'm bringing up, but I just feel like there are possibilities, and I feel like I do agree that for at least the first probably 8 years, like 2 terms, at least 2 presidencies, it's gonna be focused on the wrong things, and something like I'm talking about won't be done for 10 to 15, 20 years.
Right.
You know, it's gonna be
Because at first it's going to be all about the money. It'll be nothing but money for the first 5 years, even 10 maybe. Like
I think it'll be
until
closer
the
to
market
8 to 10.
until the market gets oversaturated and then resets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it will. It'll like the whole market
Right.
will get flooded. You know what I mean? And then there'll be too much, and people won't be making money anymore. So people will fade out that weren't doing as good, because that's just how capitalism works. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And after 20 years, we'll be left with the trusted brands. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It doesn't matter whether the weed was any good, but if it was really cheap and consistently there, like Walmart,
Right.
they're gonna last. If your
There'll
shit was
be-
really good because you're, craft. And
Yeah,
what you
you're
do,
a
your
small
shit's gonna
batch
stay. You know what I'm
company.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So the people that are worth the shit will be left, but at first it's gonna get really bad
Could be weed
because
everywhere.
every asshole is gonna think they can jump in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the green rush. It's the new gold rush. You know,
Right,
the green rush is coming. Everyone start growing weed. You know what I mean? And all the assholes that fuck up and won't even be able to sell their shit because it's so bad.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still waiting, and I don't understand how the real hemp rush hasn't happened. The full
Because not enough
switch.
people are into CBD yet, dude.
Not even that, man. I'm talking like
that's-
shirts.
Are you kidding me?
Paper. Like, let's save some fucking trees.
We
Let's
know
get
why.
those I mean,
You know why?
it seems so crazy that like we still haven't.
You know
I
why.
thought with some of these bills we'd be in at least further ahead. There would be more hemp paper. There would be more hemp like
There is, I think.
straws
I see more
and
hemp shit.
stuff. And there's more, but I thought there'd be a lot more.
Like a ton. Like it'd be
Like
everywhere.
we could be saving what like you can. Hemp was what we used. Like, well, let's just go back.
Yeah,
save
but
some
now the
fucking
people
trees.
that own the lumber companies are
No,
gonna-
I mean you're right. That's their. It's all money. You know,
money,
there's-
yeah.
I get it. I
You
just
can't
thought
make as much money.
There would be
if any
enough.
asshole can grow the hemp, then where's the money in it? You know what I'm saying? Not any asshole has the equipment and the team to go log trees. You need big equipment for that and stuff. You know what I mean? And all kinds of. If any little guy can grow a little hemp patch in his backyard, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I need a fucking state that just grows hemp and produces hemp.
Pumps it out.
Hemp fucking straws. I need hemp straws that are
I
fucking.
think Colorado's
5
gonna be the
cents.
one, dude.
I hope so.
I think there'll be the one.
Because like the hemp
They have
straws
a
we
lot of-
have at work, man, are awesome.
They work perfectly.
They're just expensive.
They work perfectly.
They're-
There is nothing wrong with it. It feels exactly like a regular plastic fucking straw.
Right, but it's biodegradable. And if restaurants could use that instead of these paper straws, be a whole nother experience. So much better.
Yeah, because paper straws
Those
suck.
paper straws are the fucking worst.
They're
dude.
the worst.
It
I just
turns-
won't use it.
It
I'll
turns
just drink
into
out of
baby food.
I'll
in your
drink out of the
mouth.
gross cup.
Bro, even with my, cause I got them like sensitive teeth, as you would say. I got not a lot of
Enamel?
anemones.
Anemones?
Anemones, that's the one.
Yeah.
And with a paper straw, I'll do the same thing. They would all tough through the fucking cold ass teeth, cause that's.
See, and I'm like
fucking-
a germaphobe. I don't like touching my lips to those dirty ass
Oh
cups.
yeah.
But I'll just drink out of the cup.
Yeah,
bro.
because
I'm not
that shit
fucking-
just turned into
it's
some
gross,
nasty
yeah.
shit, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, dude. What's your prediction on like how many? So when and how? Like
I think-
I want to hear your prediction. I'll give mine too.
I think 2 years. Within 2 years.
Okay.
It'll.
So that's the when.
That's the win.
What do you think the how? Just a broad. You don't have to go into, obviously you're not going to get into every little detail, but you think it's going to be more of like a
There'll be-
hands-off let states approach, or do you think it's going to be a more of a now we own this shit?
I think it'll be somewhere in between because I don't think will be able to get away with, especially with the way that like certain people campaigned this. I think it'll be definitely a blend. Like their cannabis legalization has always been about the money. That's the only reason we've gotten to where we are. So
Right.
they will definitely be putting their hand in that pie, and it'll just be interesting to see what that tax is like and how high it is and how that adjusts over time. But I do think, I think they will open it up. But I think they might give states a chance to set up first, and then they'll open up to like everybody. Who the fuck?
Someone jumped in like a
Oh, the Discord.
Call of Duty or something. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't have Call of Duty open though, so that's why I'm confused at why someone jumped in Call of Duty.
I think they'll give everyone a chance to set up because it'll be such a big thing, and some states have pushed back against it a lot, you know what I mean, in terms of how they feel about it.
Right.
And then they'll give, I think they will take that time period to then set up some of these other laws, and I bet you there'll be, I think it'll just come in the form of taxes, and then the worker life will be a whole nother thing. The restrictions and the rules that have to be followed will be, I don't know. I can't really say on that. It'll be interesting.
I think
to
it'll get
see.
way more lax.
I hope so.
I think over time.
I really do.
I don't think
over time.
not now.
Yeah. But that's my thing.
Not
right
now.
away.
Yeah,
right
right
at the
away
beginning.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think, in 10, 20 years though, it'll probably.
agree.
It'll probably be much chiller.
10 years. I think it'll take at least 10 years. And then you'll start to see big shifts. And then 20 years it'll probably be normal. But I think right at the beginning you'll see like these type of stages and building into it, and you'll see more taxes. Like if you are going across state lines, as these companies, there'll be a tax for doing that.
Oh,
and
there sure fucking
things
will,
like that.
without a
You know what I
doubt.
mean? So it'll just be interesting to see how much it is and how if they won't work with the industry at all. I'll at least say that they'll just do what they're gonna do.
Just making sure.
What about you? What do you think?
So when I think it's super unfortunate because I think it's gonna take at least like 3 years.
You think so? You think it's longer
think
than
it's-
what I'm
yeah, I
thinking
think
for
it's-
sure?
There's definitely, I'm not saying, there's no part of me thinks it's impossible that it could happen tomorrow.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think that the more likely option is
No, yeah, absolutely.
that it'll be probably more like 3-4 years or
Okay.
so. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I think, in my opinion, it'll be used for the next election. Whether
Again, you don't think that'll hurt them?
I think whether or not it's going to depend on the direction America's been going in, and it's going to depend on the way cannabis is seen in 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I think if America really wants it, like really, really bad, and then now all 49 out of 50 states are fucking medical and 40 are recreational or something, you know what I
Right.
mean? And it's that prominent, you know what I mean? I think, Biden or whoever, you know what I mean, will take a very strong, I'm going to make cannabis legal, and he'll use that to win a re-election.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that if America starts to take a turn in the opposite direction, and which I don't think is going to happen, but I think if it did, and say no one else became legal for the next 4 years, right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be used by the Republican Party or whatever, the opposer, to be like, no more cannabis or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In order to, you know what I mean? I think either way, it's going to be used for votes
in the
way. Next election.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be more
Put in
like
their back
3
pocket,
years.
type
You know what
of
I'm
thing.
saying? And they can just keep stringing us along for the next 3 years, and then when we're not taking it anymore, it's been 3 years, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
They'll be like, okay, well, I'll give it to you if you re-elect me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for sure.
saying? Is I think how it'll work. Unfortunately.
Ooh, that would be.
That's why I think
That'd be
that's why I
interesting.
think maybe it might even be 5. I think my guess is 3 to 5. That's my range. Because I think he'll
I
either.
hope you're wrong.
I think he'll either.
But you might be.
I think he'll either, like Biden, I think will either in 3 years say, hey, I'll give it to you now because I want the re-election.
Right.
Or it'll be hung above our heads.
One of
I'll
the-
give it to you if
I agree. It'll
you
definitely
elect
be one
me.
of the two.
You know what
Because
I'm saying?
people will either be outraged in 3 years that he hasn't done it, or they'll be semi okay with it.
Yeah.
And it'll be another
and
thing
it'll be another
for him
thing
to
he can
use.
keep. Yeah, well, I'll get you next time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I
think
that's
either
fair.
way it's going to be 3 to 5 is my guess. But I think by the time, I think maximum 5. You know what I mean? I think by the time the first year of the next presidency, whoever it is done, it'll already have been done
Okay, that's fair.
within the first year of the next elected president, whether it's re-elect or someone new.
Right.
But that's my guess for when.
Okay.
And then the how, I think you were pretty dead on. I think it'll start out super hands off.
Yeah.
States, do what you want. We're just going to decriminalize it for now. But I think they'll make it. But I think they'll make it to where you still can't go across state lines at first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree with that.
And then that way they can use that to slowly. Because you know how they have to use a bill to sneak in shit they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
They have to give us an inch so that they can take what they want. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be like a.
So it'll be like, okay, fine, we'll let you take it across state lines now, but now we want 30% of all, you know what I mean, or
Right,
whatever. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I think you're pretty right about that. I think it'll start off as
I see
we'll
what
just
you're
give it to you, but everything stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, nothing changes. It all has to be exactly the way it is now.
Right.
The only difference is we're officially saying that we don't care that you do it.
Yeah.
But you still can't cross state lines. You still can't, you know what I mean? All the rules, it still has to be totally state regulated. You know what I mean? All that'll stay identical to the way it is now. But the federal government will finally say officially, well, you can have it if you want it. You got to figure it out on your own, but you can have it.
Right,
That'll be like they're really not giving us anything because Obama kind of already did that. They didn't make it official, but he was like, we won't do anything. You know what I'm saying? So they unofficially gave it to us, right? Now, next step is to officially give it to us, and then the next steps will be like, how can we get a piece of that pie, like you're saying, you know what I mean? How can we take as much as we can from this by giving them a little more? Now you can cross state lines. Well, now it doesn't have to be regulated through us at all. Now it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'll keep...
You know, you got me thinking, through talking about that, you think any states will push back? You think there'll be a state that has people say, I don't want to hear? But
like,
how do you think they'll do? Because
like
at that point,
Georgia or Louisiana or some shit, it's going to be like, no. Or like Vermont, some weird fucking place.
Because somewhere just did that.
North
I can't
Dakota,
remember.
South Dakota, it was
One of them.
They just said fuck off,
Yeah, the governor did. The governor was just like, nope.
Oh, you guys voted for it? Yeah,
nope.
Too bad.
See,
Can't have it.
That'll be interesting to me, because I feel like at that point,
it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna somebody. I don't know who it is. Idaho. Somebody's gonna be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah.
And then
you guys can keep it.
And then they'll do that, and then someone will have to file a lawsuit, and then
exactly
whatever happens from there will be.
It'll go to the Supreme Court,
right,
it'll be
it'll set precedent later. Yeah, no, 100%.
It's fucking crazy though. Somebody definitely will though.
I agree.
Well, somebody will make the argument in their case that it's their right as an American.
At that point,
yeah.
Well, and I don't know. I guess it'll depend on how they word it. Like, if
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gonna really depend on how they word it.
Yeah.
And it's also gonna depend on the state's view and stuff too, because the state can still say no. Doesn't mean that they will, because the Supreme Court might tell them to fuck off. Yeah. But they can sure fucking try.
Well, it will depend on whether or not they're like, it's no longer a crime and states do what you want, within your government, or if they make it
hard,
right as an American to operate. And
someone's going to make that. My point is that someone's going to make that argument no matter what.
It's okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if they even if they just say,
someone's gonna,
hands are off. We're not saying that you're right, but hands are off. Right. Someone's still gonna make that point. Well, the government said I can have it,
right?
So it's my right to have it.
100%. Someone's gonna. Someone will file that lawsuit,
and it might work. Right. I'm not sure how that'll go through, but in my opinion, then that could be a valid argument.
It'd be
maybe.
Super interesting. Yeah, that's for sure. But
then at the same time, states always have the right to, no matter what.
Yeah, well, I still have a weird thing with the whole thing that happened with that. I think it was South Dakota, if I remember correct.
It was South Dakota. I'm almost positive
it was something in their wording in their state constitution that gave her that power. I just think that's crazy. That's
you can do that everywhere pretty much. You can do that almost anywhere, dude. I'm pretty sure every state governor has the ability to veto a bill. It's just like the president. They can go all the way through the House and the Senate and they can still they have veto power. That's the whole point. Veto power. Veto.
I thought there was there had to be other people involved, but I guess not.
No, because the way that works is that the checks and balances that's there for that is impeachment. So if the guy vetoes 27 bills in a row and clearly the fucking state wants it, they'll just fucking impeach him. He just won't work for the state anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but they can do that. They can, if they want, they can spend 20 years telling people to fuck, or they won't get reelected. One or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. When election time comes up for governor,
it's important
they
who
won't
you vote for.
Yeah. No, it really is.
It really is.
It really is.
It really is.
But hopefully we get all this soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully they take a good stance on it. I know that's a very optimistic way to look at it. But.
We chose in this industry. You chose a wild ride, because it is going to not slow down, let up, or give you any breaks for 15, 20 years.
It's gonna keep changing. Every time you go into work, you're gonna be faced with a new rule, a new policy, a new law.
A new tax.
A mask mandate or some shit.
Yeah, whatever it
Even if
is,
it's not
man.
cannabis specific.
100%.
There's so many things going on. And then you add the factor that it's the cannabis industry, and it just becomes this crazy.
It just compiles.
Yeah.
Super tough.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But
see how it goes, though.
That's it, dude.
It'll be a ride, that's for sure. I don't know.
Definitely
I'm excited for it. It'll just be interesting to see. And people always just got to stay active and try to exercise.
I think we got to get out of this pandemic, too, dude.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah.
It's
Hopefully,
coming. We'll hit herd immunity
hopefully.
at some point,
Yeah.
and then we can get the fuck out of here.
Hopefully.
And I think the world will chill out a little bit.
We can just start to focus on other things.
Exactly.
You know, this is taking up majority of everyone's life. Don't get me wrong.
Everything is based around this now.
So much that's going on, and big things that have happened. I don't want to take away from other things, but it's just this one thing has been a continuous.
Well, for someone of our generation, or even close to our generation, even close to our age group, this is the first time we've ever seen anything like this. So it's fucking
100%.
Everyone's really going through it.
Right, 100%.
We weren't around for like smallpox and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to us, this is mini plague. You know.
Yeah.
We just have more technology. Back in the day, a lot of people would have died from this.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of people still died.
But it would have been way fucking more.
Could have been crazy.
Can you imagine if we had like the health system that we had,
oh god,
400 or 500 years ago,
right.
where they were like bleeding the ghosts out of your blood and shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the fuck. Like, can you imagine? Oh, no one would have made it through coronavirus. Everyone would have died. Like, there would have been no fucking.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's fucking.
No, yeah, I agree.
So it'll happen though. We'll get out of it soon. It took way longer than I was hoping. So, like, Texas already gave up on the mask mandate. They said, "Fuck y'all. You don't need to wear it at all ever." I'm not that crazy. I don't like wearing it all the time because I think some situations are unnecessary, but that's fucking nuts. You could at least be like, at the very least, you could have changed the rules and said, okay, you don't have to wear a mask very often, but like if you're gonna be in a small room where everyone's within 6 feet of each other, you have to wear a fucking mask then at least. Like they were just like, no, we don't give a fuck. Y'all can stand and breathe in each other's mouths for all we care.
So, okay, I'm going to quote some...
Like, they could have at least been, like, masks at concerts or something, right? Like, they could have did something. You know what I mean? Anything. But they were like, no, you can do whatever you want now.
I got most of this information from the Phil DeFranco podcast, so, like, I feel like I have to give credit there because this is not stuff I figured out on my own. But part of what they said, like, their defense was, okay, well, 7 million people have been vaccinated. Only 2 million, right now the vaccine, 2 shots. 7 million people have gotten the first shot. Right. Only 2.5 million have gotten both shots. And then they just had this huge storm, so that slowed down the rate of testing and the rate of vaccines. So they just haven't been testing as much, so their numbers look lower.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't. Oh, I'm going to quote Phil DeFranco on this because it's so perfect to me. Don't be stupid. Like, just,
Dude, they don't give a fuck,
God,
bro. They don't
dude.
give any fucks.
You're...
No fucks given, dude.
I can't with this stuff, man.
I don't know. I'm digging, though, the, like, all of the delivery things that came from Corona. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, dude. 100%.
And I was like,
I agree.
At this point, I was kind of hoping we could get to the point where so many things could get delivered that they could give up on the mask mandate solely because if you don't want to catch Corona, you don't have to leave your house. You know what I mean? Like, I was hoping we could get over the mask just because, like, you don't even have to leave. If you
Everybody just brings you everything.
You don't have to leave. They could be like, because your argument's like, well, it's against I have to go out and get my medicine. Like, no, you don't. Everything gets delivered now.
Drop it at your front door.
Yeah, all of it.
No touch.
And then that way, if you want to go out, you can. It doesn't matter.
It's perfect.
Or if you've already had it, or if you've already been vaccinated, or whatever. You know what I mean? Then you can go out and do your thing.
And how good
have
we gotten that no contact drop off? Like, for real.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean, dude. I get a picture from Grubhub of my front doorstep and my bag sitting on it. Like, it's great. That's what I'm saying. We got our groceries delivered last week.
Oh, dude, I haven't done that yet.
It was amazing.
I bet that was
It
awesome.
was amazing.
What'd you use for that?
It's like on Smith's.
Oh, it's like the Smiths app.
It's like this, yeah, the Smiths app. Like, and they. It's not like DoorDash brings it to you, like a third party. Like Smiths brings it to you.
I thought about doing some like Uber Eats or like Grubhub fucking and some off time stuff to make.
I thought about doing that too. I just didn't want to run my car because I'm on a lease and I didn't want to put a bunch of miles on it. But yeah, I totally thought the exact. I almost did it, honestly.
Yeah, dude. I hear people come into our work all the time, all the fucking time. He's like, yeah, me and my wife both just hop in the car. Go out, hang out.
I order DoorDash all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like probably 3 times a week.
Sure.
And all the time I see it's like a family. It's like a husband, wife, and their kid or something. And the kid jumps out and runs it up to the doorstep, and they're just sitting in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like hanging out. They're just working their kid, but they're just hanging out. The kid probably has his iPad back there watching TV.
Yeah, and you know
they
kick him an allowance.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, come with us. We'll give you $10 a week.
Yeah,
you can buy toys or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we'll let you download whatever app you want on your fucking iPad or whatever, and you can sit back there and play games for 2 hours while we drive around.
We all hang out. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's
fucking
dude.
Dope.
Yeah, I think that's definitely.
I thought about doing that too. I could
stuff.
be like, Avery, just come with me. We'll just go ride around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. Ride around, deliver some. We do the same thing. You can put YouTube on your phone. That's all we do anyways. Is sit or watch YouTube videos. And then put YouTube on the iPad, sit in the passenger seat, and we'll just fucking hang out.
Yeah, me and Jen love like listening to books and stuff too,
that's what
and
I'm
like
saying,
other podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
great.
I mean? Just fucking 100%. Definitely something I've thought about doing.
You get bored because there's not really much to do. Just come home.
Yeah.
Wait for it to start popping
your
again.
own fucking hours.
That's great.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Right on, guys. I think I had a good time.
Great one.
I had a good time. Yeah.
I felt real good from that joint too. Shout out Cannovative again. Oh, and you know what? It's probably that fucking terpene shot too, huh?
Dude.
The two of them together, bro.
Always
mix
gives me
that
the
shit.
tingles, man.
Y'all do y'all selves a favor. Get yourself a Cannovative motivator and a fucking intensified shot. Smoke that bitch, drink that bitch. Tell me you don't feel fucking magical when you're done.
It's different, man. It makes a difference. Like Cannovative's got great stuff, but like the effects that you get are so different and like fluid when you have these terpene shots mixed in with them. Like I get very different like visual experiences, body feelings, like certain parts of the high that aren't usually so intense and things like that are always elevated. And it's awesome. I love it.
My fucking lit.
Yes. Shout out to the sponsors. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week.
Catch you next week, y'all.
Yeah. Deuces.